My name is Muhammad Atawul Kareem. I was born in the year of 1953. I have come to this country some 31 years ago. I came originally from Bangladesh. My undergraduate studies fields had been physics. And after I came to this country, I pursued both physics and electrical engineering. And I had been mostly affiliated and associated with various academic institutions. Currently, I live in Virginia Beach and work at one of the universities in Virginia Beach.
And how do you conflict your studies to your da'wah to those, non-Muslim people?
I have always, all my life, I've been kind of taking a pleasure of participating in many different interfaith forums. I've been doing that all along. Always somewhat a little bit low-key because I want to kind of impress upon the qualities of person rather than dumping them with data. And that's partly my thought that most people are looking at Muslims as examples. And I try to do that either by my own demeanor and conversation. And I perhaps am successful or not successful, but I try to convey what I do, and I try to share with people. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And Al-Nahl focus on today, the bee. And Al-Ankabut, the spider. And thereabout a theme, the fig tree. All living beings. Al-Fil, the elephant. And these are some of the examples where very insignificant creatures have been elevated, so much so that they are literally title of chapters. There are 140 chapters, and I've just kind of gone with you about 6 or 7 chapters that are at least titled with some insignificant material. I'm only going to focus on only one of them. And within that, I'll go from this chapter 16, so I'll go from verse 66 through 70. And as I'm going through, I will try to go back, jump out of Quraan, outside, and come back repeatedly over the next 30 days, hopefully, to convey to you what is there even in the bee. With that said, this particular verse is that وَإِنَّ فَعَنِ لَا عِبَرَةً. And certainly there is a definite lessons for you in the category. That even though this is a chapter of Lama, but this verse 66 is actually beginning with cattle. The next verse is, and I will only, for the sake of time, just look at the English part. We give you to drink out of what is in their bellies. Whose bellies? Cattle's. From between, the drink is from where? From between dung and blood. No one can eat or drink dung. No one can eat or drink from blood. And Allah is saying in this verse, I give you wholesome thing, which is milk, delicious to the drinker from where? From between blood and dung. All for milk. And right there is a very delicious thing. So much so that if a mother is unable to give milk to the child for whatever reason, we will oftentimes go and get the milk from this kind. So much nutritious. And as I ponder, I'll go to these 4 verses. Allah is saying repeatedly, don't you think that I produce things from what are essentially repugnant?
I progress 2 more verses to 68. And remember, verse in Quran we all know, there's nothing really new, but remember the sentence in Quran is ayah. And ayah essentially doesn't necessarily mean sentence. It means they are signs. Each sentence are essentially signs. And I'll go 1 sign forward to 68. And I would like to ponder with you, Allah says, وَأَوْحَى رَبُّكَ إِلَى النَّحْلِ أَنْ اتَّخِذِ مِنَ الْجِبَالِ بُيُوتًا وَمِنَ الشَّجَرِ وَمِمَّا يَعْرِشُونَ. And I'll go very slowly. And your Lord inspires the bee. Allah inspires the bee, saying, you make houses in the hills, among the trees, and what they build up. And I want to pause with you. Let's reflect on a few things. Here the word is ahwa. Ahwa is derived from wahyan, or inspiration. Where Allah is saying, He inspires thee. Not talking. He inspires thee. And what he inspires that I want you to note very clearly, the word ittakhizi in Arabic, it is a word that is applied only to female bee, not to male bee. If somebody looks at ittakhizi, Allah is saying He inspires the female bee. Z-E-E-E will convince you that Allah is talking about female bee. And that He's asking the female bee to choose from. And if I look at a few things, just before going back to the same verse, let me go to a little biology course very quickly. If you look at bees, there are two types of eggs comes out. Fertilized egg and unfertilized eggs. And unfertilized eggs produce the male. And the fertilized eggs produces the female. And the females are two types. Some of those female can be elevated to be queen. And the rest of them remain to be workers. Do you understand? First, if it's fertilized, those eggs can be female only, no male. And if it's unfertilized eggs, then those are all male. And Allah is saying that I inspire, ittakhizi, the female, either the worker or the queen, not the male. Please understand that. Let me reiterate a little bit. So the players in this verse are the following. Either we have the queen female, and if you look at this picture, if I wish I had a pointer, on the top one, right in the middle, is actually a queen bee. And on the bottom, the worker females look with more or less what you're seeing on the left side, and drones, which are male, which are written on the right side. I go very quickly. The queen, please understand this, a queen normally, not always, normally is actively reproduces. Can produce about 1,500 eggs a day. At the height of the season, can live between 2 to 5 years. It's like a factory that produces thorough many. And let me let you understand that in all cases, the fertilized eggs are actually housed in larger cells. They feed large amounts of jelly throughout their larval life. That's how they grow. I also want you to know that worker, I want you to understand first before I go back to ittakhizi, female, but typically not able to reproduce. They cannot reproduce, the worker ones. Typical colony will have between 20,000 to 60,000 such worker bees. And they will live, by the way, they live only for 4 to 6 weeks in the summertime or 4 to 5 months in the wintertime. That's their lifetime. I also want you to know a little bit that drones, which are the males, they mature at only 2 weeks' time. And they mate, their only goal is to mate with the female virgin queens. And they mate during flight. And upon mating, they will die. Right after that, they will die. And they will be forced out. Right after that, they will be forced out of the hive for good, late in fall. I also want you to know that the division of labor, the workforce, is that females are reproductive. And among the workers, they work in the hive, except egg laying. That's the business only of the queen, no one else. Please understand that. I also want you to know that the division of labor among workers, there are several different types of bees. And just to explain the verse, there are nurse bees. They're between 1 to 12 days. They're self-blooming. They actually clean the cells. They also feed the babies or broods. I also want you to know among the workers, there is another type of bees that are called house bees. They can live only 10 to 20 days about, and they clean the house. And do you know how they clean the house? They have this wing, they propel it very fast. So much so with that speed they actually drive out all the dirt from it. They accepting nectar and pollen from foragers, and I'll talk to you about a little bit. And they're under tigers, they're hive guards, and most importantly, they control climate. So if you are an observer, you will see on the bees, on one side, a group of bees are fluttering their wings. They are actually draining in the cold air into the hive. And on the other side, there is another few thousands are also driving their wings, pushing out the warm air. Essentially, it's a climate control system. Do you understand how they behave? I also want you to know that amongst the workers, there are field bees. They are about